Hi Cancer, welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to look at your reading. So let's start with your current love situation. So what's the situation in love for Cancer? What is Cancer's current love situation, Spirit? Let's see. What's coming up for Cancer? We've got past love. Then we've got true love. So that might be someone either from your past or past life. Maybe you feel like you've known each other before. And what I'm getting is a really strong connection. It feels like something really kind of honest, something very pure. You know, it's not like a toxic situation. There's a lot of attention that you're giving each other. You're getting a lot of adoration from the person. What I'm getting is in the past, you might have dealt with people that might have put you in a third-party situation, or they maybe just were non-committal, playing the field, dealing with lots of other people, or just not making you feel really secure in that relationship. There might have been some jealousy going on, you know, just kind of toxic stuff. So for some of you, you might be dealing with dark male. It could be someone with a darker skin, or if not skin, could be, you know, lighter skin, but just with dark features. And what I'm also getting, you might be at a distance, so you might not be able to see each other as much as you would like. But what I'm getting is it is a really nice connection that you have between the two of you. But let's have a look what the tarot tells us. So let's get my cards. All right, so Cancer, what's your current love situation? What is your current love situation, Cancer? Let's see. So we've got Ten of Cups in reverse. So what I'm getting is somebody might have been either somebody has just got out of a long-term relationship, or another thing is there might be some kind of disharmony in the relationship. It could be caused by the distance. Maybe that's causing some issues between the two of you. Let's see, we'll have a look deeper. We've got the Lovers in reverse. So yeah, it might feel like there's some kind of disconnect. It could be someone that maybe you felt a strong connection before, and it's just kind of maybe, you know, you're seeing things a bit differently now. If it is someone from your past, then what this is telling me is someone that you might have, you know, ended things with. And again, it could have been because, you know, either the connection just kind of fizzled out, or someone made the choice to potentially go to someone else with that triangle that I saw there before. So let's see. And we've got Eight of Wands reversed. So that tells me that there's no communication at the moment. Somebody might have blocked someone. Or again, if someone has recently just got themselves out of a relationship, one of the stories that I'm getting is you might have met someone that you feel like, you know, from the moment you've met, you feel like you've known each other forever. You know, it felt like a really strong connection, but maybe things are not really getting anywhere right now because someone is freshly out of a relationship. So they're not really looking to, you know, get straight into another connection, because what I'm getting is that they might need a bit of time to heal first. So it could be that the communication is very sporadic, slow. There's not really much happening. It could be kind of delayed, a bit slow. Just not really, you know, it's not really going as fast as I think you would like, you know, but someone is still moving on from whatever happened in the past. Now, take this as resonates. If it is someone that you've dealt with before, then this is you trying to move on from that. You know, that it's just been such a significant thing in your life, like such a significant relationship, that you're still working on, you're still healing from, and trying to move forward. Let's see. Give me more. Yeah, someone's avoiding a change. So this is what makes it maybe hard to move on from. Again, if it is someone that you just met, I feel like they're just not ready to jump into anything just yet, because, as I said before, they are still healing, and they know, because if they feel the connection as strongly as you do, and I think that's what makes them feel like if they jump into things, it won't be just like a short-term thing. It won't be a fling. It will be something real. And I think this is the person that they know that they need to heal properly first, so they can come correct, so they can start this new relationship properly, which is a good thing, because you never want to, end up being someone's rebound or jump into something too quick and then things, ending as quickly as they started. Yeah, I don't see this person being ready for a relationship just now. I mean, again, they are, with the Fool, what I'm getting is they know, as I said, they know that this is something that could be a real thing. But again, they're kind of cautious right now to take that leap of faith. They're, kind of getting to it. Again, they're just taking their time. They want to maybe get to know each other first as friends, be a bit more cordial, kind of see how things go, get the feel of it first, to make sure that, there's a strong, stable foundation. Because again, what they're trying to avoid is another kind of breakdown where they thought they had something real with someone else, and then things just didn't work out. Because again, with the Ten of Cups reverse and the Lovers reverse, it was something that they thought would be the end all be all, but then things just didn't work out. So again, whether this is someone you just met or someone from the past, if it is someone from the past, I feel like, although there's no communication, this person has hard time moving on from that. They don't want to really move forward. They want to, restart this again. So that's what I'm getting. But I feel like in the past, they weren't really willing to work on things and put the effort in. And now they understand it a bit better. So they want to work on things and kind of have that, real thing, because they realized you're their true love. And they want to have a second go around, but this time, better. So let's have a look. Spirit, tell me, what actions is this person going to take? New or old? What actions is this person going to take towards my Cancer? What actions is this person going to take? Yeah, I feel like you were kind of in that energy where you lost this. You feel like it lost its spark, because if the person wasn't putting the work in, you just kind of felt like, why bother? Why am I the only one? Why should I be the only one putting the work in? And you just felt uninspired, and that's why the relationship might have ended. It's like someone might have again put you in a third party, and they might have dealt with other people behind your back. And again, if this is a new person, this is what the person that they've dealt with before they met you might have done to them. So they might be avoiding, seeing you, hanging out. There might be excuses where they're saying, I'm too busy working, I just don't have the time right now. And this is them avoiding getting close to you, because they know that if they spent time with you, if they were face to face, it will be harder to resist the connection. So they're kind of avoiding it, because they don't want, right now, they're trying to take control over their life, their feelings, kind of get back into that state where they feel like they want to be in control. They don't want to lose control again. Maybe in that last relationship, they feel like they've lost themselves a bit. So now they're being a bit cautious and again, being a bit avoidant. But it's not because they don't feel the connection. It's because they know, because they feel it, and they know that, if you were right there and they could touch you and, feel you, then it would be hard to, stay cordial and kind of not do anything about it. So they're just diving themselves into work, keeping their mind occupied by other things, focusing on their finances. Yeah, I think that whatever happened in the past, it's caused a lot of kind of mental turmoil. There was a lot of anxiety, overthinking, and they're just trying to get back into balance. And like I said, regain control, kind of regain composure. And what I feel like that person maybe just didn't expect to meet someone that would, stir their feelings so much and cause something that strong that quick. So if you feel like they're avoiding you, or if this is what's happening, or they're not really talking to you very much, it's not because they don't like you, or they don't see you as that, because they definitely do see you as, the nurturing, the loving person, that someone that they could have it all with, what I'm getting with Empress, right? With the pregnancy, what I'm thinking is this person sees you as, if you're a female or feminine, this is someone who sees you as, they can imagine having children with you and you being the mother or the father of their children. So they definitely know that. But like I said, right now they're just trying to get back into their routine, just get their own life, their autonomy back before they want to kind of join in with someone else again, which again makes sense, because I feel like it's important to, when you've been, especially if it's been if it was a long-term relationship and you've been joined because you kind of met in together, when people do things a lot together and you kind of forget what was purely yours, you lose your autonomy a bit. It makes sense that you want to, enjoy a bit of solitude, not necessarily isolation, but, just having the time to kind of be with your thoughts, get your own identity back before you introduce a new person into your life, especially if you sense, or if you know that there's going to be that once they do introduce you and once they do let you in fully, there will be a lot of that, and this is where they're worried that they might lose themselves in that connection again. So they're just wanting to take it slow. So right now they come across as very rigid, very, maybe sometimes a bit blunt, a bit detached, almost too cold. But it's just that person trying to kind of, stay in control, because they feel like whenever they talk to you or whenever they see you, they feel like they're losing control. And it's hard for them to, keep that kind of poker face, because that's what air signs are about, right? And this is what I'm saying, just because I see air signs. It could be Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. I see Taurus, Aries, water sign, earth sign, but a strong air signs. It could be also, again, water sign as well, but Gemini, Libra, Aries are the kind of strongest one. So right now they're not really doing much. They're keeping to themselves, focusing on work, and just kind of avoiding you. Is there anything else they will do? Yeah, like I said, they're focused on their own happiness. They want to be happy, single, and kind of be, there might have been a lot of, some codependency in the past, and now they want to be secure within themselves, so they can come with the next person, or with you, so they can come as a more kind of balanced, because they want a balanced connection. They want an equal give and take, because again, what I'm getting is that this person might have been putting a lot of work into this before, where the other person got lazy, got, bored, and that's what's caused this person, again, whether this is you in terms of someone that you've already dealt with in the past, or whether this is someone new that was in that situation before with someone else. they, you know, they were just doing too much, over giving themselves, kind of people pleasing, I see. But yeah, there was a lot of codependency. So now they want to get more kind of in an independent, like I said, single, you know, happy on their own. And then when they're secure, they're going to open themselves to you, because what I'm getting is, you know, it's not the kind of where what people say they look for someone who completes them. And what I think is they learned that you are complete on your own, and then another person is just a, you know, a bonus addition, because you want someone else to enrich your life, right? To add to your life, not make you work harder and take from you. So this is what the person now wants. They want the kind of get themselves into the balance, so they can receive more. They need to get themselves in a bit more of a receiving energy. So right now, what I'm getting is there's a bit of a kind of period of quiet, delays, kind of slow movement, almost to the point that it feels like there is a standstill. But just take it slow, you know, give the person time to heal, because ultimately, for the long term, it's going to be beneficial for your connection. And again, if this is someone from your past, and now it's up to you whether you choose to entertain that, you know, make sure that this person has spent the time healing. And if it's yourself, you know, take the time to heal. Like, don't feel like you need to jump into another connection to fill that void. Take the time, you know, to get yourself to that independent, kind of self-sufficient energy, you know, from a survival mode to the receiving mode, because that's how you then bring more things and better connections into your life as well. So I'm going to pull some messages. Spirit, what can you give me from the Black Mystic Rose for my Cancers? Any messages of love for my Cancers? Got memories. So this is what, again, makes me think that this was someone, if it's someone you've dealt with before, they're still thinking about the past, the good times that you had. You know, they're looking at your old pictures together, videos, what have you. And they're still, you know, they're dwelling on the good times that you had. There's not really much thinking about the bad, when things got bad. I think they just remember how things were good before, you know, things started kind of getting out of balance between you. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else for my Cancer? Now, again, if this is someone, you know, who, if this is a new person, I feel like they're just, again, they're spending the time alone because it's hard for them to open up to you, because there's still the kind of lingering energy of the past, which is understandable, you know, especially if there's a betrayal, or, you know, someone hurt you like that, or when you really thought that this would be someone you would end up with, you know, getting married to. You know, there's a lot of that kind of going on, and you need to purge it. So it takes time. But yeah, I feel like there's a bit of negativity going on right now. They're having, you know, they need to go through the healing to start seeing things from a more positive side, you know, because otherwise they might end up projecting onto you, and you don't want that. Then we've got present, feeling the moment, becoming aware today in the now. So yeah, I think this person is trying not to think about the future right now. Again, there's thoughts of the past, but they're trying to kind of bring themselves to the now, to remember, right? This is the past, that's done. So I have to think of, you know, I have to focus on where I am now and moving forward. So yeah, on the bottom of the deck is escape, avoiding, pushing away. So that's what this person is doing. They're pushing you away right now. They're trying to run away from the feelings a bit, I get. But again, if you really feel that strong connection, you know, give it time. And they will eventually, hopefully, open up. But, you know, everybody's healing takes time. Everybody's different. So I'd say be patient, but at the same time, don't wait around for someone, you know, because again, you might miss out on something else that might be available ready to you now. So that's your love reading. I hope this helps. And now we're going to have a look at your general message. Okay, so let's see, Spirit, what general messages do you have for my Cancers? What general messages do you have for my Cancers? I also forgot to say this is from now until the end of May, so this covers the next 2 weeks. So, you know, if someone's taking the time, remember, next month the energies might change, and then we'll see, you know, where we're at, if anything's different. So 2 weeks is not that long, time flies. So let's see, what's the general messages for my Cancers? What's the general messages for my Cancers? So we've got Anamkara. So this is, again, unconditional love, soulmates, kind of strong energy. There's a lot of warmth, a lot of affection, that kind of kindness, nurturing, that gives me a bit of that Empress kind of energy. And then you've got the Shooting Star. So this is your wish granted, wish fulfillment, but it also can be kind of sudden, passionate falling. So I'm getting, this is where it was like a love at first sight, you know. Now your general seems to be about love again, but yeah, it's like a rare connection that you just didn't expect. It came out of nowhere, which I feel like it definitely was for that person. If they just got out of something they didn't even have a chance to heal, and whoop, there you are. So, you know, and we've got Bonfire, which is the fire, you know, the spark. It just happened, and it was such a intense energy. And I feel like it gives you, you know, whatever energy you were in before, it makes you feel like it gives you this new joy in life. You know, you're starting to look at things more positively. Like you're remembering that, you know, if you haven't felt like this, or you almost forgot that things can feel this good, you know, it's a really nice positive energy. And then we've got the Emerald, which is the green color, makes me think of heart chakra. So again, this is your healing kind of, you know, through love. There's a kind of free flowing energy, but again, it's very nice kind of. It just feels so unusual. It's so rare that things like that happen, and it just, you know, it just happened. And again, that we've got Repairman, which with the watch is kind of, you know, it takes there's some work needed, but that work takes time because, you know, it's these little bits and bobs that it's just, you know, it takes a bit of craftsmanship. So what that makes me feel is like, this is basically saying that, you know, you met and it was such an intense feeling, which helped you both probably recognize that it isn't something to just let pass by, you know, especially this person, if it's someone, again, who's been hurt, or if it's you, where you know that you don't want to just dismiss it and miss out on an opportunity, but it almost motivates you, you know, to do that healing work so that you do come ready, and it basically levels you up for the next thing, which is, you know, amazing. This is like a healing connection, and that's beautiful. And then we've got it's time. Things are fast tracked to unfold quickly and smoothly. So yeah, what that's telling me, you know, you met, it was such a strong, intense spark, but that's triggered the healing. There might have been things maybe that you didn't, or this person, you know, didn't realize until they met you, you know, where they saw the connection between the two of you. Is so much different to what you or what they've known in the past. And like I said, it motivated that to really do the work, so that when the time comes, so they're ready for it when it's time. So then, you know, the connection can be really beautiful, because you don't want to mess up, you know, if you meet someone special, right? When it's something special, you want to treat it right. You want to make sure that you've done everything right to avoid, you know, losing it. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. So that was more love, but let's have a look at, see if we can get any more kind of general messages for you. Spirit, what general messages can you give me for Cancer for the month of May? What messages do you have for Cancer for the rest of the month of May? So again, there's something unexpected happens. Let's see what that is. So I'm getting someone might be coming back. Maybe you thought something was done, there wasn't much communication or much action, and then suddenly, yeah, what I'm getting is what you thought was lost suddenly came back. Now, more stable. So this message isn't going to be for everyone. I think this is very specific and it's all kind of tied in together. And what I'm getting again is, you know, that connection that started so quick, but then it kind of stopped and it just went quiet. If there was like a block communication or just no communication, you might have felt ghosted. And it's kind of like when you least expect it, what you thought was lost just comes back. But with the House, what I'm getting is, and this is what I was saying, this person wants to come stable, in a stable energy, because House makes me think of a foundation, right? And that's what you want. You want to have your own strong foundation so that you don't end up, you know, creating like a trauma bond or a codependent relationship. And that's just a confirmation. But is there anything else that you can give me for Cancers, maybe for people who are not dealing with this? So there's something new, or it could be a child. So what I'm getting is if there's child or children involved, it could be they're like if you've separated from someone, you know, and you share custody or anything like that, there might be, I feel like the child, if it's you know, if the other person has gotten custody, I feel like they might feel kind of stuck, and they want to be with you, especially if you're the feminine. You know, like if the children ended up with the father, they want to spend time with their mum. Again, if it's not children, give me another card just to see. So some of you might have gotten either a promotion in a job, or you are in a kind of a higher position. It could be a leadership position, and you kind of feel stuck in there, like either there's no way forward from there, or it might be, you know, you might be under a lot of pressure, kind of keeping things going, and you might be under, there's just a lot of work. But what I'm mainly getting is that, you know, you want to work towards something else. Like if you're bored or you don't feel challenged enough in the current position that you're in, you're thinking about, you know, what else can I do? What new kind of adventure can I embark on? A new position or new work that would give me the challenge, especially if you just feel like it's the same old, and, you know, your job doesn't fill you with that passion, that drive. You've lost the drive for it, and you're just kind of thinking about, you know, moving on elsewhere, maybe somewhere. If you don't feel appreciated in your current position, I feel like you might be thinking about going somewhere where you will be appreciated for the hard work that you do, where you get more recognition. And if you do, what I'm getting is, if you do decide to go for a new, you know, apply for a new position or anything like that, it will be successful. So that's another thing that I'm getting. All right, so right, let's have a look if there's any message from Tarot. Is there any general message for Cancer? What can they expect from now until the end of May? Spirit, any other messages for Cancer? Yeah, so I'm getting you're thinking about something. You can decide. There's a decision or some kind of dilemma that you have. Again, it gives me that kind of feeling there's like some kind of restriction that you're, kind of feeling stuck in. Again, there's some anxiety about it. It could be some fears happening. There's a bit of kind of, analysis paralysis is what I'm getting. And with the Queen of Pentacles, what I'm getting is you might be thinking about maybe if it's a work situation, you might be thinking about maybe quitting your job and move on or start a new business, like your own business. But then what I'm getting is you might be kind of talking yourself out of it, like the fears about, what if this doesn't work out, or how will I pay my bills, things like that, where you're just so stuck in the indecision of should I or should I not, to the point that you just don't move at all. There's just no action happening. It's just kind of a stalemate where, out of fear of making the wrong choice, you're just not doing anything. I mean, depends what it is, right? You can always start something as a side hustle. That could be it as well. If it's not leaving a certain work, it might just be you thinking about starting a new thing, a side hustle, something that would improve your financial position, give you a bit more stability and security in the long term. But I feel like there's some kind of confidence issue, and that's stopping you from taking action to start. But if you do take the action, especially if it's something that makes you really happy, like it's something that you enjoy, that you have the passion for, that it's your hobby, it will make you really happy. And what I would say is, whenever you do anything that makes you happy, that's already a great thing. And it gives you that drive to actually get it to a point where if it makes you money, or it's helping you in any way, then by all means. So let's see. I feel like there was someone in the past where you might have mentioned it to someone before, where you told someone about having the idea, and they might have kind of give you some harsh words. They were very, maybe very critical about it, and that's what kind of puts you in your head, and you overthink and you kind of talk yourself out of it. So don't listen to that person or these people, or if it's just the way you talk to yourself. I know that we tend to talk to ourselves in the worst way possible. And there's a song that the lyrics of it are basically, I wouldn't talk the way I talk to myself. I would never talk to my friend like this. I wouldn't talk to my friend the way I talk to myself. That's what it is. So, and I think that's a great thing to do. Don't have that self-talk, and don't ever speak to yourself in a way that you would never speak to someone else that you care about. Imagine if it was your friend that came to you saying, I've got this idea. Would you just, would you crap on all the whole thing and, make them feel bad and regret ever opening their mouth? Like, that's what I feel like someone has done to you. Or would you be, supportive and cheer them on? If you would do this to someone else, then cheer yourself on. Like, you have to be your own best cheerleader. So that's something that I get. Like, whenever you catch yourself having these kind of negative thoughts or kind of overthinking, stop yourself and think, if it was someone else, if it was my friend telling me, what would I say to them? And this is what you want to say to yourself. Okay. because I feel like this, otherwise, you might miss out on an opportunity to have, create an income for yourself that could really change your position and change your stability in the long term. So don't talk yourself out of it. Be your own cheerleader and get that thing started, whatever it is. If you feel like you don't know, all the steps, that's okay. Take it one step at a time. Don't try to plan everything out for from start to finish. It's all about the journey, and you learn as you go. You can learn everything from books if feel like you have to know everything, because if you're waiting for the perfect time, there will never be a perfect time. The main thing is to start, because once you get started, then it all starts to unfold. You have to have faith and see that, with every step that you take, a new path opens up to you, and it will lead you to where you need to be. So trust it, because I see that if you do, it's gonna bring a lot of stability for you, and finances that will change your situation for the better in a major way. So that was your career and finances as well. So what I'll do is I'll give you a general message as the last message. Okay. So Spirit, what is the message that you have for my Cancer for the rest of May? What message do you want to give to Cancer from now until the end of May? What message do you have for them? So we've got find balance between giving and receiving. Balance, harmony, reciprocity, flow. So now this goes back to for me, to the love reading. If this was you who used, in the previous connection, was the one who would overgive and always do the most, and kind of put so much of themselves into the relationship to the point that they got lost. Remember, you want equal give and take. If the other person doesn't give you as much, take a step back, mirror their energy. Don't try and compensate for someone not giving enough by doing more, because that's not the right thing. That's not going to give you what you want. So find balance. Okay, get yourself in a more receiving energy, because I feel like people who are so used to giving and over giving so much of themselves, they are the ones who struggle with receiving. Water signs, I know Pisces are one of those, but I think water signs in general, because they're so kind, so nurturing, and you Cancer are one of them. So I feel like you want to make sure that you give, but you don't overgive to the point where you're not receiving the same back. So okay, make sure there's balance. All right. And then we've got trust in the power of love, unconditional love, connection, oneness. So again, this is, if there's been hurt in the past, pain, and you're going through healing, or, you're connecting with someone who's going through healing, it takes time, but don't let the past or whatever negative, happen. Don't let it affect your future. Stay open. Keep your heart open. Okay. Remember with the emerald, keep your heart chakra open, because love can be healing. And if it wasn't, then it just wasn't the right person. All right. So those are the messages that I have for you. I hope this helps. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please do let me know in the comments if this resonates, or, anything that you would like to share. I would love to hear about it. Okay. Thank you, and have a lovely